Does your match history look like this way too often? Or is this you most rounds in every single game? If so, then you may be hitting that rock bottom of fragging more than you'd like to. Now, if it's any consolation, I've also been there multiple times, and actually the same goes for your favorite pro players. But the more I understood the game's mechanics, improved my own, and watched Radiant players play the game, the more I realized that bottom fragging could be a matter of choice. And yes, as harsh as that sounds, it's about actively making the decisions to adapt throughout the round, come up with smart strategies with your team, and follow through with decisive actions. That said, let's jump into the highlights of an insane ranked game from 100 Thieves Cryo and observe how he plays the game to actually stop bottom fragging. Before we take a look at it though, if you guys are really looking to improve this act, boy have I got the treat for you. We've recently gone ahead and compiled a brand new Calm Aim course that consists of everything that you need to know about getting Radiant level aim, with tips provided to you by some of the best aimers in the world. While many players just do what feels natural to them when aiming, you may not realize that there is actually a proper technique that you should be implementing during your matches to give you the most consistent aim possible. In this course, you'll get everything that you need to fill out your FPS skill set and get you climbing in no time or your money back. That's right, we actually guarantee that you'll climb 500 RR while using our service, otherwise you don't pay. So if you're looking to take the game seriously and climb this act, or you just want to impress your friends a little bit in your 5 stacks, be sure to check out our brand new Calm Aim course using that discount link below. And other than that, let's dive into this game from Cryo. Cryo is the resident controller main for 100 Thieves, and despite playing a generally passive role, he's definitely no stranger to the top of the scoreboard. He also doesn't shy away from setting the tone for his team, as greatly exemplified in this neck and neck ranked match. Take a look and listen to these pre-round callouts that occur before the barriers drop.
Let's go, guys.
Bazooka this round.
They have rocket.
Apart from hyping up his team, he also lets his team know that the enemy Raze has her ultimate up on top of many others. While these things may seem trivial, it matters when our teammates are too focused on what they're doing or playing individually. Letting your team know what utilities are up and how they might use them allows them to play accordingly and even predict what the enemy team might do. Any bit of info that can be gathered before the round starts is a great way of formulating counter strategies early on. This applies to you and how you can adjust yourself when holding angles or taking fights. With a Raze ultimate available, you can already decide to avoid tightly enclosed areas and hold from spots where you can seek covers safely. Remember that the first step to avoiding bottom fragging is to survive for as long as you can in these rounds to keep getting picks and gaining more impact throughout the game. Now, as soon as the round starts, Cryo prepares an early smoke in mid. Since he's solo holding that area, this is likely a play that relies on sound cues. He can insta-smoke mid if he hears anyone to slow them down immediately. However, since he heard more presence towards B main, he shifted his smoke and attention there while letting his teammates know where the enemies are headed. He then prepares a metal towards the choke point to support his teammate's Cypher. From here, he gets blinded by the enemy Sky, but thanks to his Cypher cage, he is able to get a bit of cover, allowing Cryo to drop the satcheling Raze. Cryo gets instantly traded by Sky, but he responds with an instant ult to bring him back into the game. Having an ultimate ready allowed Cryo to take more risks and fight more aggressively, which is the main benefit of playing Clove. It's also a perfect agent for Cryo, not only because he's a controller main, but also because he can aggress more easily with Clove. After activating Not Dead Yet, Cryo backs up into the smoke so that he can get cover while he pops out of his ult. And as soon as he's back up and ready, he jumps back into the fight, eliminating Sky and Clove instantly, allowing him to resurrect fully and leave the round in a 4v1 scenario.
No, this guy doesn't flank. He doesn't lurk. No, wait. Don't peek him.
Now here's another important trait to take note of. Cypher calms that Yoru could be flank. However, Cryo claims that this guy doesn't really flank or lurk often based off of what he has seen. Because Cryo has been observant of what the enemy tends to do, he's able to make smarter decisions. Lo and behold, he is right on the money as his teammate Raze dies from Yoru holding from B main with an op. It's important to remember that your opponents are real players who have habits of their own. Just because they could be somewhere does not mean that they aren't doing something else. By understanding what they could do and what they're likely to do based off of what they've already done, you can make smarter deductions. After Raze dies to this operator, he tells the rest of his team not to peek while smoking the choke point off. This shows good discipline in Cryo's actions, giving respect to the enemy Yoru with an operator despite the 3v1 advantage. Plus they have Spike on site, so there's really nothing to fret about. He continues the round by saying, "Don't worry, I can re-smoke, everyone calm down," and after a while of holding, the enemy Yoru eventually falls. So what can we gain from this round based on Cryo's actions? Number one, he is actively informing his team of what they have to deal with before the round even starts, giving them an early chance to adjust. Number two is that he takes calculated risks based off of what his agent is capable of, utilizing things like his smokes and his Clove ultimate as an advantage so he can get more kills. Number three, he is observant of the enemy's patterns and behaviors, allowing him to be a step or two ahead of them. This is shown by his understanding of where Yoru is likely to be. And number four, he shows discipline despite being up in numbers, proving that there is no room for complacency. He could have just ran in and tried to kill the Yoru, but that's not going to be the best way to clutch out the round. All that combined equated into a successful round, giving Cryo 3 additional kills while surviving the entire round. His adjustments based off of observation and prediction allowed him to take strategic fights from a safe distance. Moving on to the following round, this is where the momentum momentum really shifts even further. Cryo stays on B heaven, ready to support Raze holding with an AWP from vents. He has his smoke out just in case the enemies start to flood mid, instantly smoking out the Raze after she misses her shot. After he dodges the boombot's vision, he peeks out expecting the Raze to walk out of the smoke. And with precise and head level crosshair placement, he easily takes out the unsuspecting Raze. He then repositions a little, anticipating another potential engagement. This exemplifies how he is prepared to take another fight in case another one comes his way. This slight reposition is a massive deal when enemies are trying to exit the smoke. What I've noticed mostly from low elo players is that they will often let their guard down after getting a pick, which results in them getting traded out pretty much immediately. And that's exactly what you need to learn from Cryo when holding angles such as these. Since Valorant is a team game, you will always have to anticipate the enemy trading their teammates instead of relaxing after a single pick. This removes any chance for the enemy team to get a jump on you since you are all ready to take that fight. Getting 1 kill is a massive deal for the round, but if you're able to get 2 or even 3, then you have pretty much won the round for your team single-handedly. After holding the angle a bit with Raze, Cryo decides to check for any activity on site. This shows a little bit of proactivity from Cryo to assist his teammates. Remember that the more proactive you are with playing together with your teammates, the more success that you'll have with getting picks. After not seeing anything on site though, Cryo shifts his attention back towards mid after hearing Cypher throw a cage. Since Cypher can come out from various angles due to the cage and smoke, Raze can be left completely vulnerable if she misses her shot. Thankfully, Cryo holds the angle with him and gets the drop on Cypher with a clean crosshair adjustment. Again, he instantly shifts his attention back towards site given the sound cues from the enemy Yoru. Cryo swiftly takes Clove's head, and at this point we can all tell that he's really feeling it. He smokes the choke point off, then pushes forward with his trusty shorty to finish off the round. And just like that, he comes off with a total of 7 kills in a span of 2 rounds, on top of being a reliable support for his team. The cherry on top of this flawless round is how he hyped his teammates up by commending those crisp shots. So from this round, we saw Cryo exhibit proactivity, accurate crosshair placement, map awareness, and confidence to take duels. These are all top contributing qualities to help you frag out more in your matches. In this next bit, we're going to take a look at 3 consecutive rounds as a whole.
Smoke male, dog mid, walk A.
Before round 18 starts, Raze calls to fake mid control, then walk towards A. As Raze walks up to A main, he gets a pick onto Yoru holding with a Bucky. Now normally you'd have less chances of winning against a Bucky in this range, but the Yoru most likely gets distracted by the commotion in mid as seen from the minimap, making him much less prepared for this fight. However, Raze does get instantly traded by a Cypher in heaven due to a minor miscom. Cryo wasn't able to warn the Raze that he's going to smoke first, therefore he wasn't able to cover that angle for him. Had he been able to tell him beforehand, Raze could have been more prepared for this Cypher's peak, and unfortunately Cryo wasn't able to trade the Raze in time. Nevertheless, they got to take control of site with ease. The round ended in a successful win with an additional kill to Cryo's score. Moving on to the next round, Raze calls for the same fake mid control.
Now we're doing the same thing, but B. Yep. And then next round, we actually go with the dog.
But this time, they ended up on B. He also follows it up by telling his team to do the same strat next round, except they actually go through mid. As soon as this round starts, Reyna gets one-tapped by Skye, but Cryo is ready for an instant trade. This is when he starts to engage in what I call calculated aggression. He basically does his job of a controller by smoking off the choke points, and then he runs it down to sight, serving as bait for his teammates. Because of this, he was able to reveal Yoru's position with the Bucky, which could have been detrimental to his entire team. He uses his ult to lure the Yoru, allowing the Raze to pick him off. Since Clove needs an assist or kill to fully resurrect, he peeks out wide to drop the opposing Clove. And to top the round all off, Cryo gets 2 crispy kills with the remaining enemies peeking from heaven. True enough to what Cryo claims, he does play with discipline, as seen for how he makes decisions and acts according to the situation. Moving on to the final round in this 3-round conditioning strat, the team decides to follow through with a full-blown mid push. The first blood goes to Cryo with a clean pre-aim towards rafters. This is another prime example of how disciplined Cryo is. You noticed how Cryo pushed through mid, he was still pre-aiming angles even though they were smoked off. It's a testament to how prepared he is to take fights even when he doesn't necessarily know where the enemies are. This disciplined mechanic of his is exactly what allowed him to best the enemy Clove holding from rafters. Unfortunately, the next few seconds went haywire due to the Sky's unexpected push from inside Cryo's smoke.
Yeah, I just don't like the way we're shooting right now, honestly.
Do agree with that.
But the takeaway here is that the team was well aware of what went wrong, giving them an immediate chance to recover and patch things up. Skye acknowledges and tells the team that he does not like the way that they were shooting in this round, and Cryo completely agrees. So to cap the 3-round conditioning off, Cryo's team gets 2 rounds for 1, which is not a bad exchange at all. And in total, Cryo had 5 kills in this series of rounds, on top of other team contributions in terms of assists. The factors that helped him gain an advantage in fights were 1, his preparation, 2, his discipline, 3, his calculated aggression, and 4, his efficiency as a follower when somebody leads a game plan. While number 4 won't always happen in your games, it's important to remember that sometimes there are players on your team who are willing to communicate and come up with strategies. And if you're not willing to be a follower at those times, then it could really be detrimental to your success in the game. Now for our last bit, we're going to be focusing on how taking the lead and setting the tone can help you get more frags in your games and rise above the scoreboard. We've seen how Cryo operates as a follower, so let's take a look at how he does it behind the wheel as he sets the tone for his teammates.
Quick contact mid, actually.
Yeah, let me contact him. I'll win us the round.
Reyna, come with us,
No util, no util.
basically no utility.
Let me go first.
The round starts with Sky asking if they want to do a contact play in mid. Cryo instantly agrees and recommends that they should be on the front line to play contact while the rest of the team follows. On top of that, he asks for no utility, just pure contact to add an element of surprise for the enemy team. After waiting out the smokes, Sky suggests to dog B Heaven while the rest of the team creeps up their way towards vents. Cryo along with others take control of Heaven safely with minimal effort and utility used. Unfortunately, Raze gets picked off, but the plan is still set in motion. Again, because Cryo has that get out of jail free card, he goes for another calculated aggression towards the enemy's spawn. He places an aggressive smoke and plays inside of it, catching the enemy Raze off guard. And while he almost gets spammed to his death by Cypher, he still came out on top with a well-timed peek. After getting 2 kills, he moves back towards site to support the Cypher since the enemy Yoru had just used his ultimate. One of the best ways to counter Yoru's ultimate is to play close to your teammates so that he can't isolate one of you. He was able to divert the Yoru's attention, and while Yoru Goomba stomped Cryo, he had his ultimate ready. As soon as Cryo pops out of his ult, Cypher gets the trade onto Yoru. Cryo tries to provide a smoke for Cypher to plant, but the enemy Sky picks him off before he's able to get it down. Thankfully, Cryo's crispy aim and reaction time allowed him to trade the Cypher. And just like that, Cryo was able to stand by his words at the start of the round, and I quote, "Let me contact mid, I'll win us this round." Now, to eliminate the suspense, Cryo with his team ended up winning this match 13-11, with Cryo having a total of 33 kills and 10 assists. So all in all, what can we gain from Cryo's mechanics, behavior, and decisions throughout the match? For starters, the best and easiest way to get a lot of frags is by using the agents who are capable of smart and calculated aggression. This usually includes duelists, Clove, and other agents that have escape mechanisms. You also need conscious effort and awareness when playing the game. Everything starts from observations and how you adapt to them continuously. Letting your team know what info you're aware of will also grant synchronization. The more your team is synchronized, the more you can play together effectively. While it may seem like your teammates' awareness doesn't matter for you getting kills, the better your team is doing, generally the more opportunities you will have to get kills. Sure, aim is still a #1 factor when it comes to fragging, but don't you notice how easier it is to get kills when every plan and adjustment just seamlessly falls into place? That is the magic of being on the same page as your team. They can easily assist you in your plan, and you can do the same thing for them. We've also seen how Cryo is a great example of both an effective leader and a follower. When you got the game plan set up, commit to it and support each other. If something doesn't work, let your team know to give awareness and take action in the following rounds or even next games. This ranked match for Cryo was nothing short of a goldmine on how much impact he had, not just as a support, but also as a top fragger. Talk about having the best of both worlds. And if you're struggling with bottom fragging, then let me tell you how we can help you out today and get you back on track and ranking up. As mentioned with our brand new Calm Aim course, we will teach you everything that you need to know about how aiming has developed in the last 10 years. We'll teach you the established proper technique that aim pros use to maximize their accuracy and whiff far less. Aiming can feel so hard at times, but we'll help make it stupid simple and get you ranking up in no time or your money back. Don't forget that site subscribers also get direct access to our coaches in Discord so that you can get personalized feedback just for you. Nobody understands how to climb out of low elo more than us, so if you're looking to rank up, be sure to check out SkillCapped using that link below. And other than that, my name's Casey, and I'll catch you in the next one.